Dude, let me tell you, Niall Horan is absolutely one of my favorite songwriters, and like production-wise and music too. Like his Heartbreak Weather album was just so ridiculously good. It was, let me say, I listen to a lot of music, especially with doing these reaction videos. And hear me out here, like I can't go and listen to everything all the time because meaning all the things that I react to, just because it's just not, some of it's not my favorite style of music, some of it I enjoy, but it's like not what I would listen to on a run. Like Niall Horan's Heartbreak Weather was one of those albums that I actually went and listened to like often. I'd be on a run, I'd listen to it, I'd be in the car, I'd listen. It was just one of those things where like it was just my vibe. A lot of the music he writes, just in general, it's totally my vibe. Even the track, I'm forgetting the name. Is it Our Song with Anne Marie? Like, dude, like I listened to that like that was a ridiculous song. Like, so his genre, his songwriting really resonates with me. I don't know what it is, so I'm just really looking forward to, in general, checking out this song. This is my first time hearing it. So this is what we got. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and this is Niall Horan, the show.
Life is like a board game some of the time. Mistakes and heartbreaks and no cry.
Super present vocals. One interesting little note, though, is this looks like it's a Rhodes E-piano, because I recognize it, because it is my absolute dream to own a Rhodes electric piano, like a vintage Rhodes piano, but they're like several $1,000s, and not in my budget at the moment. But it sounds like we got an actual piano going on, which I do find really interesting. His voice sounds ridiculous, like super clear and just super full in everything, just in general.
Mistakes and heartbreaks and no cry.
He's got a super distinct voice.
But there's a light creeping through under broken skies. Got plans, better hurry 'cause time flies.
Nice reference to the board game.
Hold tight, get ready for the ride.
Huge reverb swell, that was cool.
If everything was easy, nothing ever broke. If everything was simple, how would we know? How to fix your tears, how to fake a show, how to paint a smile, yeah, how would we know? How could we have it though?
You know what's interesting is like seeing the shift in what genre would you call it? Singer, songwriter, pop? I don't even know what you'd consider it necessarily. Pop rock, maybe. This shift to like the 70s chord progressions, like particularly with Niall, and like you hear it a lot with like Harry Styles for sure. Like these chord progressions that aren't necessarily modern pop, but they're actually more like 70s pop. Like you'd hear them like Fleetwood Mac or like Steely Dan or like stuff like that, where it's like these chord progressions that aren't super like 1 4 5 6, which is a typical those four chords, like the typical pop chords, or 6 5 4 1, or any 4 5 6 1, like any iteration of those chords is very, very pop like. And I'm feeling like more and more, especially with those two musicians that I just mentioned, we're kind of moving away from that, which is kind of cool. Just it's refreshing to hear as a musician. The thing I don't like as a musician is like it's harder to tell right off the bat what the chords they're playing, because you're not, I could hear a 1 4 5 6 chord progression like this. It's just something I know because I've heard it 1,000 times and I play them. Sometimes when they throw in these other chords, I'm like, oh, what is that? And then I'm like, but again, I guess it's just increasing your musicianship. Like right there, that's a modular tone. Like that's not in the key right there. He just left. It's whether it be the 5 of 5 or whatever it is, but that's not part of the main key.
Life is like a dance floor some of the time.
These drums. Come on. Nice layered vocal. I like these drums.
It's all fun and games until the party ends.
Wait, hold on a sec. That guy really looked like Harry for a second.
Hold tight, get ready for the ride. If everything was easy, nothing ever broke. If everything was
There's the piano.
how would we know? How to fix your tears, how to fake a show, how to paint a smile, yeah, how would we know? How could we have it though?
Wow, cool. That's a cool melody. Dun 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 is a cool, like, almost calm response kind of melody. One thing I do appreciate about this is the attention to detail. Like, you know, like a guy pulling a switch, then the music builds up. The music is really the video is really following the music, which is really cool to see.
We're still not ready for the
Huge reverb.
If everything was easy, nothing ever broke. If everything was simple, how would we know?
Strings.
How to fix your tears, how to fake a show, how to paint a smile, yeah, how would we know? Oh, if everything was easy, nothing ever broke. If everything was simple, how would we know? How to fix your tears, how to fake a show, how to paint a smile, yeah, how would we know? How could we have it though? How could we have it known? So hold tight, get ready for the ride.
Gotta be a little honest. It was a little hard to understand some of those lyrics in there. Not all of them. I didn't totally understand all of them. Really cool production. Again, like I said, it kind of reminds me of this like vintage sound, which is also interesting that I said vintage sound because we also have like the vintage. What's it called in there? Like it looked like when he was on stage, it actually looked like it had film grain, if that makes sense. So it almost made me feel like it actually had film, was filmed on film. I was thinking that while they were showing the video. So I'm like, part of me is like, oh, like there's film. Now that's something like it sounds vintage. It was like, oh, it's an interesting like attention to detail that like if it was filmed on film and now they're like, you know, but it also had this vintage sound. I don't know. So just attention to detail, I think, is a very interesting thing in this song for sure. I would love to know your opinion, what you thought the meaning behind this is. Like, you know, what do you think he meant when he was writing this song? Because I think it could be interpreted in a couple different ways. Obviously, you know, his interpretation, but I think everybody interprets songs differently. So I find that really interesting. So I'd love to know what you think the interpretation is to you personally. But it is an interesting question, you know, that he asks in this song. So I'm curious if you have an answer. But my name is Jacob. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you want to check out my music, it is the absolute best way to support the channel. So I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. God bless and peace out.